I've had quite a diverse career path. I wouldn't call it a path so much as zigzags. When I left school, I went to work for the Standard Chartered Bank in London. So I worked in the city for a good 8 years. I went to work for a Brazilian bank. It was mainly to do with shipping. And one day I took the notion to come to Ireland. And at the time, there wasn't a lot of work in Ireland. That was back in '93. So I did what I could. A friend of mine said, come window cleaning with me. So for 2 years, I was actually a window cleaner, which was fun because I got to meet the most unusual characters in the most unusual places. And that's how I came to actually work in a small tourism spot in County Westmeath. Just basically working with tourists and showing them around the spot. Then I got a job working in a computer shop in Athlone. It was a cyber cafe and I did a bit of training on the side. So gradually I picked up lots of different things that seemed to come together. So now I find that I'm working between IT and tourism, and it seems to have been kind of a natural synergy. I could barely turn a computer on and send an email. I didn't know whether it was going to the right place, or, so I did have a lot of fear about it, so I kind of shied away from it. But there came a time, especially when I was working in this IT place, I didn't really know a lot, so I had to learn and watch and learn what others were doing. And to be honest, there's nothing to fear, because once you work around something for a while, it starts to make sense. So I've never actually done a computer course, I just taught myself. And then I went on to actually do the JEB, a teacher training course in IT. I did find, because I learned how to teach the ECDL, that by actually learning to teach it, I found how many gaps there were in my knowledge, because I was doing a bit of this and a bit of that and a bit. So if you do have the opportunity to do a course, I certainly would advise it, because then you have the proper building blocks to where you need to get to. I do take a lot of strength from people that have gone through diversity and come through the other side. There's a favourite quote of mine from Nelson Mandela, who said that the biggest fear that we have is actually how great we can be if we just allow ourselves to be. So sometimes the fear is from within. So if you just take, you can actually do anything if you set your mind to it. So those kind of barriers are the ones we actually set for ourselves. There isn't a lot of work out there at the moment, because obviously we have a recession on. But one of the advantages I do have is that I work at home. I don't have the overheads that other big companies have. When I first started off, I joined the Women in Business in Navan in County Meath here. My very first proper website was through meeting a lady there. And she said, well, can you do this for me? And I did that, and then someone else wanted one, and then they referred me on to somebody else. And I've often thought about advertising, but I've actually never advertised. It's all just been through word of mouth. There's also online networking, aside from networking within the community, and you'll find some very, very useful tools. I mean, Facebook has to be one of the most useful tools for social networking. You can network within your area. For example, if I have an announcement to make, I can go onto Facebook and make it, and it reaches everybody within my community straight away, and it costs nothing. I suppose the traditional role of businesses has changed. In the past, it was all bricks and mortar, and you went out and you advertised in the local paper, and but these days the IT is an integral part of what we do. It's like a web really running through every stream of our lives. So a lot of people now would communicate by email. They want to have a look at your website before they come and see what you do. You don't have to learn everything about IT. Maybe all you want to know is how to use email. That's all you need to learn. You don't need to know how to build a computer. All you need to know is one little thing. Take the next step. Do that little thing that you need to know next, and gradually you'll have what you need from the IT world.